Oh, guys, that's one of those owls. Oh my, I'm actually afraid of them. Children of the night. So it's so quiet, it got quiet. There was another air conditioner or something was on. Now the whole neighborhood's quiet. And it's like, it is like, there's no street lamps in Cape Coral. They don't do that. That's one of the things you notice when you first get here. It's like all pitch black. It's really nice. Because they don't need street lamps. And so this is a video. My dysfunctional CIA family, part 2. So this will be, I guess it'll be going around different times. Like one of the times, 1971, my mom ran the abortion mafia for Southern Illinois. It was like 2 years before Roe v. Wade. So, like, or whatever you call it, like that thing. So there's an article in the newspaper, and it's got me and my brother and her there with a phone. And I asked the reporter why we're in the picture. And he said, because I answer the phone sometimes, which I probably did. So, okay, so in the article it says that the ladies go to New York City, where it's legal. But really what happened, this one, my parents never tell me shit. They never tell me fucking anything. I get like 6 facts out of them ever. My entire goddamn life. Or 6 or 8 that I could kind of connect to anything. I don't know anything about their high school, anything about their college, nothing. And they just won't talk. But, shit. Oh yeah, they went to Chicago. So 2 Chicago police officers, I think it was my dad ended up telling me this. 2 Chicago police officers. Oh shit, it just connected why he even said that. God, that was around the time. Because we were set up. It's like he's reminiscing because of the one family we knew from Chicago. They came, well, they were supposed to be divorced, but the lady and her daughter came to visit us around then. Probably around then. So that's why he's reminiscing it. Damn, man. I never would have found out. And we were getting set up. We're set up by them way back. I got my memories. I got like fucking, I'd be like, God, I can be like 6 years old, 8 years old, and then 12, and then 16. Yeah, that was a thing. Like everyone we knew, like in different ways. There was a thing that like they just know it's something. I didn't even know. But God, you had 2 Chicago police officers would come down to Carbondale, Southern Illinois, pick up the lady and drive her all the way back to Chicago. And I guess then drive her back home. So I guess that's like 2 round trips for the cops. And they had to pay a lot of money for it too. But they had to do it that way. And that solidifies all the mafia, any state police, all the jurisdictions. Nothing ever crossed state lines. And that's the way it was done. Like, yeah, but those folks from Chicago, God, that was, man, because that's in my 6. The way it is, because they were German, born in Germany. I think both of them were. Another lady was born in Germany. They had one of those German helmets from World War I with a pointy spike on top. It was kind of cool. And they lived in a brownstone in Chicago. That was really cool. So yeah, that's what it was, man. Because my parents were in Iowa City at the university and then moved to Illinois. It's like kind of came through Chicago. So that was your connection. My mom, right off the bat, moved down to Carbondale, Southern Illinois University, 1970. The spring of 1970. we moved there, or like June of 1970. We actually make the move, and my dad's fixing up the house and stuff. And by the next year, 1971, by November 71, like she's running the abortion clinic and has been. And there's going to be Roe v. Wade. And then they just troll it. And even in the article, they imply that, like, she knows all the stuff on everyone. So they get everyone all pissed off at her. So I used to get beat in school, like, ever after. And now I see what it is, and all teachers set me up. And all the black teachers, too, all the cool ones, all the church ladies, white ones could work them. And I just had to be hunted on the playground, running down the playground. And that's what it went, happily ever after, every fucking time. And always coming back to haunt me with this stuff, just start beating on me again. You know, when it first started, they said, your mother looks like a witch. And I didn't know how they knew it. My mother was the original CIA baby, you could say. It's like Alex Jones land. Now, this is like another piece of information I was able to get. Of only like little, because my mother was adopted before World War II. So like in the 30s, she's adopted. See, now I'm like, don't want to say my mom's age because she's always like that. Isn't that funny? So I get that. Actually, she had at least one of her extra IDs when she passed away, or when she went to the nursing home. Like my brother and stuff went through the house, and she's got one of them with, you know, double social security number and all that stuff. You know, from those days. But damn, man, no one tells me fucking shit. I have to fucking, that's why I used to stack these memories away when I was a kid, all the oddities and stuff. But, so, my mother was adopted by, you know, what were supposed to be like her parents, my grandparents. They're regular, like, New England folk. And, they're in the Freemasons, and they're Unitarian. My grandfather's in the Freemasons. So it's kind of funny, Cape Coral has the thing on the side of the building, some Freemason thing or whatever, but they just has that, and the Unitarian Church up in the kind of the area of Amherst and all that, but like, or up the Connecticut River. You know, there's that Western Massachusetts. Like, it has nothing to do with Connecticut. Like, people came cross country to go there, the Massachusetts people. It's not like downriver. It's like way up the river with farms, and it was like always hinterland for a long time. But she got adopted by them, and her mother, adoptive mother, my grandmother, had padded her belly, like made a fake pregnancy. So that's her first child, and then she had my mom's sister after that. So she pads her belly, has the child, right? And so it's possible that it's something from my grandfather, but did it? And I always found out my dad happened to tell me spur of the moment thing. And so my mom grew up, like, she'd say her hair is brown when her hair is black. And she'd always say that. I didn't find out till later. My mom told me once that kids used to call her Blackie. So I thought it was maybe the Jewish stock girl that worked at the Piggly Wiggly, where my grandfather was. So maybe it was his. But it could even have been more like than that. Because it's, okay, I think it might not have been, man. I think it might have been some weird stuff. Because this is before World War II. I guess my mom was born in 1933-ish. And so, oh yeah, so later, like, my mom's always estranged from the family. Like, well, the grandfather's nice and stuff. He lost his hearing later. It went out slowly, so that's kind of too bad. Because he can't really piece through everything. And then my aunts are, they're the Thelmas. Thelma and Thelma. Can you fucking believe it? The two Thelmas. My Aunt Thelma and my grandmother's name is Thelma. And those are the original Thelmas. It's like the Simpsons copied it. Like, it was that. It was exactly the Thelmas, except they would never smoke. Nothing like that. But it was, oh, Jesus, it was like the Thelmas. The Thelma and Thelma. And, damn, man. And my aunt, she was like, she worked at Pratt and Whitney all the years. So there you go, you know. And then got laid off. And she was always really loyal. And there's something else. There's stuff going on with all kinds of stuff. Because she's really smart. She knows what she's doing. Okay, so, damn, man. Yeah, so my mom, like, I would get little inklings. Like when she gets older, like she's 18 or 17, someone mentored her. One of the aunts from God. And then she's thinking maybe that's her mother, but like it's obviously not. She's obviously some Jewish mother. If it's like it's really strong. Like in her, you can see it. In my nose, sort of, and you see it. My daughter, it comes out really, like that too. But okay, so she has this aunt, my grandparents weren't, wealthy or anything. There's kind of issues. I think they had that hard scrabble stuff, and it's the Depression. Then they come up, but it's like my mom had some aunts, some relatives that just helped her, mentored her, really pushed her and got her into college. And my mom went to super college, whatever this girls' college is, sort of Ivy League or up there, something. Went to that. It's in somewhere, because I fucking barely talk. So she ended up going to that, and then marrying my dad, who's a sociologist. First, he was going to be a Unitarian divinity student. I think my uncle kind of replaced him, though. My uncle's the last Universalist minister to go through that before the Universalists merged with the Unitarians. He's going to be in hell, too. They just go to purgatory. No, he will, dudes. I know. Because I remember when I was a kid. I see dead people. And you guys saw that movie, right? God. So, yeah. My grandfather's paper, I'm named after him. He was a Unitarian minister, my dad's dad. And then his papers are at Harvard Divinity School. Like the Belly of the Beast or the Big Thing. So that's why I look at, Tucker Carlson or something. It's like, I don't want to make fun of people or stuff. The thing, I'm going to get into something later, though. Okay, so my mom gets shit. She's like, damn. They would, okay, so my mom gets like all in her super college mode and stuff. And then she ends up marrying my dad. And then it's so weird. She got mentored and pressed and pushed. And that it fits that stuff, they say. Like similar to Obama, but like others that just get placed. And then they get pushed through life like a little CIA plant or something. Especially adopted kids. And it fits that. And this is before World War II. Before you even have anything. And so, yeah, one of my early memories were in Iowa City, and I asked my mom the map on the wall. We had a big wall map, and the Soviet Union was huge, because it's all it goes up toward the Arctic, and it looks like it's just this giant thing. It spans it. And I said, it's the biggest country, and she said, no, it's not. And she had fear. There's some fear, and I always I scrolled that way. I knew that, and there was something. And she didn't really explain. Oh, it stretches it out, and because Lyndon Johnson was fucking maybe bugging our house. They'd park the FBI outside her house, and then she'd go walk over to them, ask them what they're doing, and they drive away. And the phone used to make these noises because that was Lyndon Johnson. That was a scare shit. That was after God, that was before Bobby Kennedy or after, because I remember when that happened. I think that was before Bobby Kennedy. Yeah, that was before that map thing. I think. It all happened in Iowa City, though. That's one of my early memories hearing about Bobby Kennedy. And that's Lyndon Johnson. Eisenhower is in on it. That's the Eisenhower administration. Just to give you guys a background, like what I think is that all this stuff was planned out in the Eisenhower administration because Eisenhower is an MI6 rat. Well, the whole thing, this whole thing, and see, he was like in charge of all the military operations. So they're gearing up for D-Day. So they do all the fake outs. So he got like all the way connected with fake outs, all the way handling the press and everything. And the press, they have to like being faked out, and they get access, and everyone's used to it. And so, and it's also all pro-British and working with the British to do secrecy. And so it just never fucking stopped. So Truman was a fake. All this Truman MacArthur fighting was fake. It's a part of the same thing. The Korean War was a setup that was negotiated with the Soviet Union, and so the North Koreans come and invade, and they blow up some bridges so that the South Korean army can't escape in Seoul, get them fucked up. Get the thing all the way down, then they go up to how can I not remember the Incheon landing. So that was already rehearsed. That wasn't just, they knew what they were doing with Incheon. They could do it in their sleep. So they had the Incheon plan, and they do that, and they bang all around, do everything up, burn everything up, and if you literally look at that, what they have to do to get draft, and get an army built, and then they go through Vietnam. That was all planned. Now, what I think you gotta step back and piece it together again with officers' corps, and you have all the southern rednecky guys or whatever it is, like officers, and they want to be in the army, and so all that draft and all that time, even though it's destructive Vietnam. One thing is it might have built up the army because you have officers' corps and whole families that have are military families, but they're like southern guys and they're officers. And so you can always build on that to then start building the professional army in the 70s. And it's always like a kind of a strategic plan. And you have all the cover from the CIA and stuff. But anyway, so you have Eisenhower. Yeah, so they do D-Day. They have all the secrecy, and he works with it. And then Churchill comes and tours the country. He's he did his Iron Curtain speech in Missouri, Truman's home state. And so Truman fighting with MacArthur, it's all a fake out. Truman takes the heat for all the stuff, and then he's doesn't run in 52. And you have Eisenhower, and they plan out all this stuff. You have the Bay of Pigs, and they send all the Cubans there to get killed. And that's the way they name it, the Bay of Pigs. It just doesn't it sound like they know they get set up, all the way, not just Kennedy wouldn't do the air support. And they thought it's no, it was fucking all the way premeditated, not by Kennedy but by all the other generals, and they pushed it because they were setting it up to be a Bay of Pigs, planned out in the Eisenhower administration. So and they turned Cuba over to Castro because that was a negotiated arms deal with the Soviet Union. So the Soviet Union ends up at the end of it, after the Bay of Pigs and all this stuff, in the Cuban Missile Crisis, which was planned. They end up with they get a garrison little submarine base and spy base, whatever, surveillance in the Western Hemisphere. And the United States has to negotiate some of their stuff or whatever. And the U.S. just doesn't invade it. Unless there's an actual war, then they overrun it. But the Soviets would be doing Berlin or something, during that. But so it got negotiated out, and that's what it is. And Kennedy got set up, and it's assassination. And it wouldn't be like everyone knows. Once it happens, it's they kind of lock everyone up. Get them wrapped up. And by the time it's on Bobby Kennedy, I think Martin Luther King got it to help give cover for Bobby Kennedy. That's why they had to do that, because they could have just let it. People can fizzle out and stuff. You can't get elected president, not for Bobby Kennedy. And that's an interesting kind of concept. So you have that. And that's real dirty shit. And I also have a theory that that's what people are finding out. The deep state, all the fucking shit you see around the street, they're not just doing the street and the Ukraine money, whatever. They must be meaning, what happened? What happened? And the stuff that happened. Well, see, I'm going to have to put this on Twitter or something. Because it's yeah, you gotta be fucking, what's going on? It's all fake. It's all fake to have the bad. and it'll be the thing. So my mom was, original CIA baby. Isn't that fucking great? So he goes through that, meets my dad, 50s, and they come up to Boston. My dad, okay, so one of the things is a sociologist, but really up there also, up in Portland, north of Portland, around that area is the shortwave radio. And they were doing it before World War II and during it and after. You know, they got the Masters shortwave radio and big old lines that stretch everywhere. You got homegrown stuff, like it's our family too, or like which I never hear about. They got the same last name. There's like fucking. And my dad ended up when he came to Boston. He ended up like bouncing around. He said he's not gonna be a minister. Something happened, and like my uncle bailed him out, or something. Really, he's getting set up emotionally work and shit. And they don't do it. He gets bounced out, so he's gonna be. Then he's gonna do electrical, technical stuff, or maybe it was one thing before the other. No, it's gonna be. And then he ends up being like, "Fuck it, I don't want to do." He does math. He does some really good stuff. That's why he did sociology, because you have to have that part. It's a humanities thing, but then you have advanced mathematics for the statistics. Even though he's a slacker, ends up a depressive slacker about it. But he was working in Radio Shack in Boston on Com Ave. That's the original Radio Shack, and they had it still open when I was up there, because that's the original thing. So God knows what. Compare sometimes with shit either. It's fucking weird. I don't think it's not regular. People, like a doctor asked me, what's your family history of this? And I don't fucking know. Like, why are they don't tell me anything. They won't tell me anything. Or they wouldn't. Not even during bad times. It just doesn't go that way. Dad will tell me about when he's a little kid, but not anything. No high school. No college. No nothing. And we ended up, so they ended up in Iowa and then in Illinois. I remember going to a protest in Iowa City, Iowa, at the university, and that's where they had some of the original protests, hardcore. And I was like, God, I was just 3, and I could hear they wanted to. Some people had wanted to put gasoline on dogs and set them on fire to protest napalm, and they got talked out of it. They had a big thing, and that was like, and that's probably even like they're talking like that goes around. That's a rumor that goes around, because they're burning up kids in Vietnam. Everyone's all hardcore. Then when we first came to Carbondale, Illinois, Southern Illinois, like in 1970, June of 1970, I think, am I getting this right then, or maybe it's later? Okay, they did rioting and they trashed downtown, or some of it. So they had the good history of that. So what I think happened, so it's a university town, it's Midwest, and you had all the Vietnam stuff was planned. That means all the protests, all the LSD, everything, and all the different sides are kind of gamed out and see how it goes. But that was supposed to be what it is, and and it's like a dialectic. It's not like they're just supporting one side. And society breaks down and does weird shit. And so when Vietnam wrapped up, I'm thinking that MI6 stays, okay, and CIA just skips out, or they don't even know. They don't know. Oh wait, what are you doing? Oh, they network. Oh, they're in everyone's kid, fucking doing everything. They are like running all the molestation. I know it too. And I'll tell you, okay. So we had the folks up in Chicago. We came down through there, and there was tells later in the timing. And they weren't just getting played. No, they're like later setting up my parents. Or just there, it's like, it's in the back. And the time me and my mom and my brother went up to visit, it's another thing that's timed with the stuff that happened with my brother. To like just check my mom, get it good, and do a little wedge with me. It was so fake, man. Just waiting for my mom. And, my mom was supposed to pick me up in Chicago at near some museum. It's got a long road in front of it. I'm not sure what kind of museum. It's a really nice, cool one. And I had arranged it. I was careful about it because we didn't have cell phones back then. You had to get it just right. So I got it just right. And I got on a road in a certain way at a certain time. And then my mom was just not there. And it took like seemed a long time. It seemed like an hour, but it might have been, 15 minutes. I don't know. Or whatever. It seemed like forever. And then finally my mom finds me. And she said, I was in the wrong place and blah, blah, blah. And her friend, you know, the German lady, whatever. Like, I mean, she doesn't seem German. Well, she actually seems really cool. She was really cool. Said, took my mom, said, my mom, oh, you got it wrong. Your mom had told you the other way. And there's no way, I knew that was a lie. And it didn't make sense because she was so fucking nice. And she wouldn't do, there was no like strict, listen to your parents. And there's not even, it was out of character. It was a forced thing. And I think now, not only they set it up, like with, you know, to like have it in the wrong place, could see me, make sure I'm good. And then get my mom fining me or whatever the fuck they did just to get some energy going, okay? And then, because it shut me down when I was like, because I'm adamant about being right and what I witnessed. And then my mom just didn't believe it, and they back her up, and my mom would just think that. And, because they probably mistaken my mom. And so it does that little wedge. Because I've seen it with a couple other people with us, and it all goes to my brother and what happened to him. And that's their shit that they run. And they're working it, so like to go through the time. Other family friends, they're just like right when it's the time, oh, they're just gone, man. Or my mom's drinking. They got like a fucking MI6 fucking ex-CIA lady. She's like teaching my mom how to drink. Come out in the backyard. She's getting her on cigarettes too. And they do their shit. It's always coming over for that. She said she was retired CIA. She was too. You could look that shit up. You'll see it. She looks just like Valerie Plame. That same thing. It's like fucking, I don't know, 15 years earlier, 10 years earlier. It's the exact same thing. Midwestern universities, they're all up in the motherfucker. I'm telling you. Now, and working it, and that's what got the thing with my brother. And that dude was like fucking just 19 years old. Like had just done him, man. He had his Bible college because he had all that. Get that? Man, get that. And get him, and then he goes and gets married. You know, right away, and has literally kids and doesn't want to, you know, do anything. And it's like, but he's got his naughty, like, and they got the shit. It was all locked up. All the newspapers, all the radio, all that was all in my 6, locked up. You know, I don't want to just go into detail, but just tell you that, okay? It's all locked up down to the newsboys, like in the newspaper boys, but that's also the reporters. And it's because when they did that article, that was like to set us up, get people hating us, and just get a thing. And they had to, always me going in school. Fuck, man. Because they couldn't do me. When I first got to the town, they tried to do me. They had the guy, man, I used to think he was older, but he was only like, shit, he might have been 14 or something like that. I thought he was like overage. I thought he was like 19 or something. Some babysitter starts up a thing. I wear 6 pairs of underwear. It's all a thing. And he's going to report back. He's got training. He's trained. He's like Mr. Rogers. He was so fucking, you know, he's really cool. But he was fucking trained. He was a newspaper boy. And then, never hear from him again. Like, it's, fucking, and so they had trained him. And that's what they do. Later, he was on the sex offender list, like way later. And he came down here to Florida and, like, did a couple years, you know, a couple sessions of it where they have the picture. And then just drops out of sight. And, you know, Florida didn't even give a shit. I called them up. They don't give a fucking shit about it. They just let them drop off, you know, because they've got paid off. That's what they do. They've been doing that the whole time. A lot of stuff came down here they know about. And then later, it's like there's an announcement, like he's died. It was like, but it's a different name. And so he might have actually died, you know, like it's like a little play on the name though. But I think the one where he died, it's a real name. Somehow he gets arrested and goes through everything with a fake name, you know, or a variation. It's like still you'd think it's the same guy, but it's like a variation. Family was nice too. They got fucked up. Like his dad had died in 1960, and so then he was just gonna get molested. And his mom, they were like quality people. They lived around the corner from us. And his sister was cool. She would babysit me. I think she did a couple times. I wish I could make it work that way. See, oh man, down here you got to give them that. It would have been the sister if I lived down in Cape Coral. I would have come out. I would have been maybe. Right? Damn. But And it's like fucking that. Like later, I went through all this stuff, and at the end, they put me on LSD. They got like a second thing of it. And that was coming from MI6, and I'll tell you. I said something to Lucas about it, but that was, man, like it was too weird. And the way a guy just showed up to tell the kid, oh, you look cool, they get, here's the source, and stuff. It's like really high quality. And the kid's dad is FBI. And that's how I can tell some of the FBI stuff, because I knew the family. I'd always hang out with the family. And stuff, I know the stuff, I know all the shit. And there's a certain thing, you know, and dad seemed really cool too, but they had an estrangement, whatever. They're badass. You know, but it ends up like that. And fuck. So that was them doing it. And so, and at the end, see, I get all fucked up. I get in trouble and fucked up, and I'm gonna have to move out. And like I'm like 23 years old and fucked up. I mean, I was living in the woods and shit. So all fucked up. No, I wasn't 23. I was younger than that. But damn, no, I was 23. Or I just turned. I was something. And it's like fucking, they were afraid of me. And like, you know, they're all afraid of me. Maybe some of the ones would know that like there's nothing, but they would get like fucking, if the others could make them be afraid. Like, oh my God, you might tell. Because they don't know if stuff happened or whatever. There might be more stuff. And that accounts for it. Now I went to this, psychologist. They wanted me to go to. 23, and she just starts up. She's with a guy too, so he can witness, and she just starts degrading me, doing sexual stuff, like I must be a virgin. Like she doesn't say it, but that's what it means. Just degrading, just to shut me down, get me out of there, and like Noah is clamped down, and he's witnessing it, and it was fucking weird, man. It didn't really fit. Okay, now I know, and they wanted me getting that, moving out of state, you know, let it go. And so my dude, my babysitter from when I was 5.5 years old, or just, well, maybe 5 3/4. He was maybe $1 million a year was going through his hands, something like that. He did all the football tickets for the Salukis in cash, so it all went through his hands. You know, all the group sales, and probably the group sales, you get group sales. And then those tickets go back, and that's the box office. And so they have all the fucking thing, and it's all going through his hands. They ended up shutting him down after a while. And I'm saying there's no books, but there's no evidence that he's correct. But he's like the front guy for that, like that. So they had him that, and he's like fucking the guy that does me. And so he has his downward thing. And he's on Skid Row and whatever. Then has to get his case and gets his has to be on the registry. That's how I can look him up and stuff. Or it was, until he comes down to Florida to get it cleansed and disappear. Because that's what they do here. And that Jeffrey Epstein stuff, that's limited hangout, and that's a fake out. You can go up the wrong tree into, you know, a strategic cul-de-sac. That's what they called it in Korea. Which it was. And that's why, but the United States got to, that was negotiated. So that's that shit, man. And that's why they were working me at the end, because they don't know, and the others will play it like, oh, there might be something. You got the $1 million going through there, and wait, that's his babysitter or something. Like, yeah, just what happened? You know, and the guys that know, oh, it didn't happen, they're gonna be like, well, I don't know, man. You better just, you know, they're gonna be like playing stuff hard, right? And you better let us be in there with that guy, or this thing, or that thing. And it was, man. Damn, man. Yeah. So that's what happened. Everyone was strategically, God, their friends, like, you know, stuff happened to my brother, just right for the emotional thing. I used to just dog it, man. You know, my mom would say, you're just jealous of your brother's special friend. You know, that was like that was worked on purpose. That was a special thing, man. And I had this CIA chick, retired CIA. She's a rat. She had this nice, she had a scar that went down her face for a few inches. Like, I think it was next to the mouth. Because I think I remember about it being, like, would affect the smile. And nothing, doesn't ruin, it's there. And it's not even bad, except it's not supposed to be there. And then when she smiles, maybe to do her thing, and it's there. There's a whip. She's ex-CIA. And it, man, there's nothing like that. And I was like 12 fucking years old, and I kept that away. And I know it. I can just tell the way she like say it. Like it was a car accident, something in it, say it. And the mood, the one thing that would fucking bust her up a little bit. She was always really nice, but then she did some really cold stuff with me. But it's like, there wasn't any animus. She'd do it like it's a duty. So I get it mixed up. Like she's telling me, it's like you gotta tell people a lot of stuff. You don't just go and get 3 cookies when everyone else gets 2. Stuff like that. Saying no to someone. So it's like in that category. It seems like, and actually probably is. She's just doing it because she has to. She took me for the so she got me into English horseback riding lessons. Got my mom to do it. And that connects to everything. Oh, and the way I know, she does all this stuff, man, because like that connected to our school. The professor's kids' school, the new school, okay? That was all infiltrated like a motherfucker. And the professors, oh, fucking God, man. You got all those poor guys. And probably from the beginning, like, you also happen to have in the Klan, some of the rednecks, weird hither and thither. And then the CIA lady, you'd never know she had anything to do with that school. And you guys could hunt, look, no connection, whatever. Instead, no, she's in it. Man, like with my girlfriend I got, like, I was like 12, she's 14. And she said, so her story, my girlfriend's story was like, it was a tiny school. We had like fucking, God, what do we have? Like 8 kids in our classroom. We had 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. 6, 7, 8. Or was it 5, 6, 7, 8? Wait. No, 6, 7, 8, right? 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. There's 3 classrooms. You had kindergarten, 1st, 2nd. And you had 3rd, 4th, 5th. Yeah, that's right. So we had 6, 7, 8. And maybe we had 8 kids. And 1 teacher. So my girlfriend, she said her boyfriend was in prison for beating up people. And that was all fake story. That's all fake, And she said one time he was just sitting there, he had his shirt off, and she was in a weird mood, so she just scratched him, like with her nails, and all his blood started coming down his chest. Those are made up stories to make it weird and have a little thing and see how I talk, and it's like weird. But she had to go out with me. She asked me. And we did that. It was always I knew it was like an abnormal thing. She was really cool. But that was set up, so she knows the fucking CIA lady. They do all the horseback riding lessons. They go on the fox hunts, and get blooded, and like the whole fucking thing. Probably go to England sometimes. That's one of their things. They do that, and it's like they can always go back. Why are there weird English guys over? Yeah, because they're all in Kentucky at the Belmont thing at the whatchamacallit, just a couple hundred miles away. And the fucking thing doing a big horse show. That's what they fucking do, man. She could really ride too. I heard she'd talk about it. But so you have that. Man, that was all fucking fake. So it's all fake. And one time I said, like, she was smoking. I guess it was after we were supposed to be going out, and it's like, oh God, they had everything at the school. They even had the kid that's the molester kid, which can't really get anything done. They used all the different racial angles of this odd thing. It's like MI6 shit. And nobody fucking knew that they run it like that. They fucking work. It's like doing Facebook before you have Facebook. And they're just doing because they're just like getting, so they know everyone. Because they've been working shit in England for fucking hundreds of years. Privy conspiracy. Like what they did, Lord Mountbatten and fucking they do it to their own people and shit. Yeah, so because she leaked, man, fucking, yeah, I'm not going to go into it, but you guys right. So that was connected. You wouldn't even know. It's that whole fucking school. And then so you got them. And there's some family that's, it connects to some stuff. And then the police stuff with the dudes, the Klan, that's the 20s Klan. And if you go way back, I guess they would be the anti, because I'm saying clean because that's the anti-immigrant. And they have that side because the MI6 will work out. And in Illinois is complicated, like the complicated sides of Southern Illinois. And Bloody Williamson. And they were like, the dudes are tended to be from Williamson, like a little bit over. Our school was like almost, keep going a little more east and you get to Williamson. And over Williamson, then later where I lived, you go over, you keep going, you go to McAnda, then it's woods, like Giant City. And then you go over there and you go into Williamson County, and there's no roads. And it's like they got panthers there. You got Panthers Den. And it's really, really cool. And they both, Williamson and Marion, they seceded in the Civil War, but then they had to get straightened out. And then they came over to Jackson County, but that was just a fake city hall, though. But the actual guys like do secede. Yeah, that's what that fucking was, man. And I'm not putting it all together because I don't want to just say everyone's stuff, but like I kind of want to give a view of what it is. Like it's all tied up. Okay, so I went through all my fucking shit. I'm like, I ended up kind of. It's weird because it's like, it's not really incel. It's like fucking, it's like a by habit or something. There's the weird thing is I have a certain kind of thing. You guys can probably see it in me. And now I like use it like like, because I was getting set up always, every fucking thing. Anytime we went to fucking, and it's like you're being, I didn't fucking know until like a couple months ago when I figured it out. But, God, one time, like, all my dad's girlfriends, all the fucking ones. The one, and she ended up going to Florida, like, fucking, of course. And, that was the thing. We'd be out, like, backpacking through the Smoky Mountains. Then she has to go to a bar and talk there. Because she just has to talk. And surely she's getting on the payphone. They do a certain thing, or they might do rendezvous. She has to check in. They do their weird shit. She ended up coming to Florida. She was in some so-called in a Bible cult and doing shit in, Miami, but it really is just set up and fake. Dropped out of sight. And she was like, they did orchestrated stuff on purpose. The way she walked by with her new boyfriend just wants it's fake. And then they put this other girl on me. Maybe that's at the same time out at the yacht club. And then it's like, like it's fake. And they look at me, or offering me a beer in a certain way, like it's fake. Like they're fucking doing shit. Most of my dad's graduate students, you got the one obvious one that had worked at the prison. That's Menard Prison, like the famous, like they just like definitely like hold guys down and just rape them. And supposedly. And you had the two gangs. You had North Side, and then you had Disciples, Chicago Disciples. And the North Side would hold the shit down. They could still beat their ass. And even though they had it was like a 1-2 or something, and they could still do it. They used to fight Al Capone, against Al Capone. North Side, that's the original. So that's even weird, because they set up, so like one of these guys I met him, like in a homeless shelter, he's got to be there, like that guy, and this other guy that had been in jail, and there's no fucking way. Then later I have to go out of that shelter and go to a hotel, and then that dude, the nice one, not the one that was in North Side, but the other guy, he's all kind of depressed and short, and he's like kind of a cool guy. You could trust him in certain ways, like with your life or something. Like you get things. And he told me at the end, he said, "This is a bad place," just like that. And that's what made me know I had to go, because I was attached to the town, the woods, the fucking thing, loyalty. Everyone else was fucking left. My parents left. I was the last one taking care of all the damn pets, because I'm on LSD. And the dogs got a scabby back with fleas. My cat was like fucking 15 years old, getting stuck in a corner, howling, and then he disappeared. Maybe went under the house and he dies. Like my cool cat. And then, my brother's, Jesus Christ, this is what happens, man. My brother's cat had an injury where, and I'm on LSD too, had an injury where his entire one of his eyes, like the whole face had been rubbed, and like it was like just like a meat grinder, okay? And then it heals, this leathery thing goes over it. And then this old dead tissue has to be debrided at one point, which I do take it off. And in amongst taking LSD, right? And I'm like, with that, it's like, which is worse? Actually, the dog was the thing that fucked me up, having the fleas in the back, which I could not get the powder to work. And it's like, fucking, and my other cat, end of his life, and he's going insane. He's like in hell for all, because he was the supreme hunter. He'd take a bird every day since he was a kitten, since he was a big kitten. And he's, boy, you're going to pay for that. Remember Spike Lee? My dad said, boy, you're going to pay for that. So, yeah, it ended up, that eye, though, I did good with it. It ended up, you'd never know, like it's this giant raw meat thing after I debrided it. Like it had to go like a week and a half, and all this stuff had to come off because it smelled bad. There's like, we just get pussy underneath because it's rotting. So this whole, like, the dead stuff had to be taken off, and it's all dry, and I had to get it just right. And then I was blind, of course, but at the end, it, like, the eyeball wasn't popped, like it ended up at the end, and in the whole tissues, they shrunk into like a triangle. So it was like a triangle of fur over a white eyeball. That's cosmetically the cat. I saw him later, and he was like fucking okay like that. You know, he could get. God, man. So that's sad, and that's not good with LSD in the middle of the night. There's no place to go. Go out on the road, and you know, you walk and you can't even see your hand in front of your face. You can't see anything. It's all pitch black. There's nowhere to go anyway. But damn, man. They're working that shit. All the different fucking people. All the different... And they're doing the bad. Like, you know. And now I know. All that... Every little weird scene. You know what? My dad had a girlfriend for a short time. Maybe just 6 months. She's all strict and bitchy. She's like... Seems like a Bible thumper. She's not just a university thing, but she's like bullshit. She's just like And she probably does stuff with her kids. She got her kids going, probably. You know, and so the daughter's like real little. And there's a fucking TV show on some weird HBO thing. It had a kind of a sex scene that was going to start, or implied. It was only going to be implied. And this teenage boy is like rubbing on around himself, and he's reaching toward putting his hands in his pants. And the mother calls from the kitchen, "Hey, you gotta come help me grate the cheese." You know, because we're all over there for dinner. And it's only me, that girl, and my dad sitting there watching that TV show. And the little girl says, "No." Like that, and we all thought it was funny. And my dad later said, "Yeah, you know, it's funny." And the mom's all strict. She's bullshit, man. She timed that. The mom timed it and trained her. And it's the sickest motherfuckers. I know she did. It's from some stuff I know about them from, like, Another Indicator before. So that's that level of shit. And that's all the way back, and that's in my 6. They work it. They got this fucking central thing, because you know what? They locked up all the universities. And when my dad got a Fulbright grant, they just got it all, man. They got all the shit. And like, I'll end up... That was like a Patty Cummins, wasn't it? See? That's one thing. Because I saw Patty Cummins. Reminded me of shit with my mom and different shit. And just like a Patty Cummins on the floor crying. And like then going hysterical. I knew it. I knew that some professional's been on her and working her. And maybe like working some of the people that work there, they don't know how dirty it is. Like that one guy, I don't think he's like that. I don't see him around anymore. But you know, the professional guy who's retired from someplace, or you know, God, man. So that's that, man. So yeah, because they get it like that, and that's what Valerie Plame was doing up in her other Midwestern college, and they go to Penn State. You know, my wife was there like that same year or the year after or before. Like, she's right about the class of Valerie Plame. You know, or off by a year. And everyone will think, man, that's like, man, if you look at the fucking thing, there's no way. You'd think, oh, no, this doesn't just happen. But people kind of walk in areas. And it's familiar things, familiar places, maybe. So it ends up running into each other. And there's certain affinities, I think. But, you know, people come because, like, fucking, God, you wouldn't think so. And everything up in Boston happening. You know. and figuring out. And MI6 getting shut down too. And then that connects to Florida too, some of that shit, the bad. And it's like, fucking God, man. They'll leave it too. So that's what that is. So yeah, my dysfunctional CIA family. And so my dad gets issues. He has narcissistic personality disorder. Like actually, if you read about that a little bit, and then they'd work it and get it right thing. One time, okay, we were on our school, the professor's kid's school, which is infiltrated like the new school. Somehow we ended up on a field trip. We would just go to the university and walking around the lake. And we ended up running into my dad, like randomly walking in, which is kind of extreme that he'd be walking there. And he was all paranoid leader. And he said to me, "Oh, I ought to warn you, if when there's going on a field trip, you might run into a parent. That's not appropriate," something like that. So he had been, like, he's supposed to meet a girl, or they're probably on a park bench fucking holding hands, okay? And they now I realize they did that. That's them with their fucking girlfriend. That's them with their fucking field tripping us and just tweaking him and playing him and shit and having his like, ooh, geez, And they're working him, man. Jesus, man. And so that was that. That was that. And then they had the CIA lady comes in then, and then there's the divorce. Like, my dad gets a divorce. Actually, they knew my dad before. So my CIA lady had her other friend, okay? Young lady. I don't know, she was hitting on me too. I was a kid. I was too small. 2. I was 2. I know, man. I was only I don't know. I was just barely 12 or something. I don't know if I was I 12 then? Okay, so yeah. No. So they're the 2 friends. It's like fucking so and so and so and so. And then later, and it's like they're the pair. And then there's a couple guys that hang around and all in a group and something, and they talk to my mom. And then later it's like this other so and so, not the CIA lady, the MI6 fucking ex-CIA. Not her. It ends up having an affair with my dad. And my mom's all mad. She finds out, and it's like a bad thing. And so the other CIA lady can be like, "Oh, she's so bad," and cut off that friend, and then pal with my mom even more. So that was a fucking setup. Damn, man. And she'd be there just right and working me with my brother and anything to make sure nothing's gonna come out or plays just right, and you get this right psychological shit. The thing is, what they really want to do is turn you and get you to be an offender, to get you to be doing a thing, and start you as a teenager, and then hopefully get you a little bit over age and stuff, and then they have you, which is what they do, and they can't get shit with us. And I would be and they have all the Bible stuff infiltrated. You wouldn't expect it, but it's all locked up. They had all Bible camps locked up. All this shit. Damn, my God, man. My dad ended up randomly somewhere in there a little bit later. And it was right in there. He went away and taught summer camp. Randomly, out of fucking nowhere. And then he was had a certain kind of thing. He's a kid again. And he didn't want to do it again. It's as a reaction. So I don't think my dad didn't, they couldn't set him up to do anything. But he's going to be he's got something, and then he has a reaction, yeah, right? Because they're working him, they're setting it up. Or saying, hey, maybe not this summer camp, but how about the other? There's some shit. And then he's fucking, first he thinks it's cool. Because he was teaching on water safety and stuff. One time we were with, he's bitching about the water safety of this whole canoe group. This is a little bit late after that, okay? So he's all into it, about all life jackets, all different protocols, and then how they suck, these people with kids, this whole school group. And then later we're going down the fucking river, and then one of the kids had drowned in the river as we went past, and so he could have prevented that. So yeah, they're setting that up. Damn, man. They did all that shit. So my dad ends up getting his Fulbright grant and going to Zimbabwe. He's taking early retirement. They lock it all up for the university. And he ends up there. getting estranged from me is like already an issue, but like he's like sick. He's sick. There's narcissistic personality disorder. They might even work some other shit. Like I had a lot of like 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 the thing with my dog. I kind of think maybe they did. I'll get to that in a second. And ended up he got married, or he got together with a lady in Zimbabwe, and she got pregnant. You know, an African lady, and she comes from a big old like she's Zulu something like way up there, you know. And so she's really cool too. She's like a professor. I don't really talk to him because I'm estranged from my dad. But when my dad died, I talked just a little bit to the daughter, and it's all good. But they get all the fucking money, whatever the fuck. I get nothing. I don't get a cent from either my parents or nothing. I don't have nothing. I don't have any fucking artifacts in the house. I get fucking just got what I remember. Because I got cut off. My mom and that fucking lady was making it, so my mom just cuts me off. There's a certain weakness and a certain tendency, and a certain going toward my brother, like he's a younger brother, like in crying she could be depressive, and me would be like, well, zest for life. She'd be more used to talking to my dad about me, so so it's something, then it gets worked, and it's a certain thing. But it's like, damn, man. And so he ends up, she's pregnant, and they come over to America, and then so that's his new family, and it's all weird. And he's like Mr. Suit and Tie. He used to, at the end, out in the university in Southern Illinois, he used to go to work in dungarees, like Jed Clampett, like with a fucking farmer clothes, like the fucking, what do you call the straps, overpants, and like he was stubborn and on strike. And then later he comes back from Zimbabwe. He's had a servant and a gardener because he had to stay. He said that's the only house he can rent. He has to have a servant and a gardener because it comes with that. It might be true too. Like you can't get regular middle class house otherwise. And then the gentleman's gentleman just wouldn't put up with shit. He's like, fucking, you gotta, like, you're gonna make me crap if you're not dressed right. So he'd have my dad's, like, whatever, couple suits, and he'd lay them all out on a chair to choose each morning. My dad had to so my dad came back, he's all in a suit. And they got him drinking. Like, he hadn't drank for like 20 fucking years, 21 years since I was a kid. He quit when I was, just before I was 3. And he started up, and then got worse and got addicted, and like thing. And I never talked to him much after. I was like estranged. So that's so they worked it, and then he goes back to the university and puts his new wife, through all the college. She's got a sociology degree. I was reading one of her papers, and it was just some obscure thing. She had said something in a way like that. The term neoliberal, that was a term, like it means warlike, but it had no other uses. It wasn't. That was way before it could be like the universalist, globalist, whatever, like that. And she was using it that way, and I had invented it that way. I personally been using it that way. But that's even coming. The MI6 just backs everything up. And they force these people to have their fake term papers. And like that lady at Harvard, the president of Harvard, she was all set up. If she didn't write the papers like that, she wouldn't have gotten promoted. They have to have the computers doing it. And they're going to tell you it's good. And it's really, and they don't need to plagiarize. They could have reworded everything, because the computers do that. Instead, it's turned on to screw her up and blackmail her. Because they couldn't get her on the other shit. That's about like that, and it's not like what is the big deal? Like it's like, well, they get a little bit. They run the sociology department. They run the shit. Oh yeah, my dad's graduate student. So he had the one dude from the fucking prison who's a graduate student, and like, man, there was just like, oh god, what was it, 86 or something, like 1986, 87, or no, that might be 85. Wait, a little further back, like up through there, because they're gonna start like having a bachelor's degree in sociology along with your criminal degree or whatever like that. And so he's like that guy. And then you got the other graduate student who's super cool, and he sells pot and stuff, and he has a source that grows it or whatever. The good sense of me in all the shit, knows all the shit, and he told me where to. Oh Jesus, he's the one who turned me on to the thing up in up in Urbana. They have the ditchweed, but you get it. It has a high THC. You just gotta work on it. Like you gotta, like on July 10, July 10, just the tops, and there's like almost no CBD. Probably. So I haven't smoked any marijuana in like fucking 30 years or 20 years or something like that. I'm so unhip. I'm so totally unhip. I couldn't do this if I would fucking. Oh man, there's no way. I just forgot all about that. My dad used to be like that, and we'd like my dad got me smoking pot. He was like I was so stupid just to be isolated. I was emotionally fucked up from it. But so yeah, that graduate student, and really they're tied together because it's fake. And the graduate student, so the cool one said, like, because the prison one wanted to take me bow hunting and get me going, and he was really into it. And the other graduate student said, oh, he had told my dad told me, oh, he said that reminded him of someone when he was a kid, and he got set up like it was like a fed or something, and he gets in trouble or like that. Reminds me, ooh, like that. And how the fuck? And that's so weird. And what kind of trouble or whatever the fuck. And really, that's even a fuck up because like my other graduate student, he is under something, right? You got the prison guard, and you got the other guy that's under some shit or with it, and you can do all the drug dealing. They're fucking all hooked in with ATF and whatever the fuck. Oh man, we had the black helicopters that come out too. When Reagan came in, a couple years later or something. When was it? Like, oh yeah, but like 1980, right away when Reagan comes in, and it's like boom, like they actually did have black helicopters, Black Hawk helicopters, and they could come popping up over the hills because we live in hillbilly country, it's really hilly, and they would be down, and they go, whoop up, and it's just all of a sudden they're there with all the rotary guns, like pointing at you, and like in this thin thing, like a fucking big old hornet, and then pop up, run up over the hill, and it's National Guard or whatever, and they're just playing around. They used to do that in the Reagan years, and they act like that someone's lying or they're crazy that there's like just black helicopters, which there was, and they're just trolling everyone. So they had started that shit early, and that's some MI6 shit, some of the dirty where they expertly do the dirty. And they also have the anecdote, like someone who's all against it. They have all of the fucking communist groups, everything. Because the whole Cold War was a fucking lie. Roosevelt had, Roosevelt was friends with Joseph Stalin. And these other fuckers had back channels to Khrushchev and all this shit. And so we turned against our former friends, make them enemy. That's all this British stuff. They always fight in Russia. And it's all fucking fake. And they're only shitty because they could go through poverty, like war, civil war imposed. It's always the British. The British is always fighting Russia until they have to get them on their side. And they try to go stomp them out again. They're all doing a genocide. British is all doing a genocide. They wouldn't lift a finger to help anyone. In World War II, and they'd set it up before. British set up all the anti-Semitism. It's the lane you got to stay in. Like you can't just be you have to be anti-communist to be pro-Jewish. Like, and they got a lane, and you got to be anti-Jewish in order to be anti-British. Like, and I think that was British doing it. And you look at the Henry Ford shit. Like, oh yeah, you put weird stuff in all the fucking. You put the protocols up in the fucking car, and it's probably. These fuckers, and they're down here in Fort Myers, like way the fuck back with these guys on their little wank vacation, working and stuff. Because that's what the British do. Look at that picture of George Orwell. You see it all. He has a Hitler mustache before World War I, or was it after? Like, that's their thing, man. And, so that whole Cold War, that was a fucking lie. It was when all the McCarthy was getting played. Senator McCarthy's not in on it. That's when you'll see, like, oh man, they're saying shit about him. Yeah, because he's not fucking wrong. Like, he's wanting to investigate. There's this communist that, let's hear it, or whatever. He's probably a dick about it. And they're all hiding shit. Because it's really MI6. It's all fake. And really, the Soviets can get anything they want if they pay enough money. And it's all MI6. They'll be all up on everything. And MI6 will run the Russians. And that's what they're doing now. So when we get some of the bad stuff, And like Hillary Clinton, like is probably right about a lot of stuff when she says Russians, but it's really they got MI6 and Britain behind them, and the turncoats here. And so my theory is Hillary. You got to look at Hillary and turn it kind of backward a little bit. But Hillary was right. Hillary got set up both times. She was never going to win. They always faked her out. Her husband is like fucking in on it, doesn't care. Like, and it's a bad situation. So they could always play her. And so they get her, she runs against Obama. She's never going to make it. They got it all set up. They had rigged it. And they put her in the State Department, all the email stuff. They made her do that. They talk her into it. They get her going. They collect the evidence. They're always going to dog her like that. So that's what it really is. And then and when she loses, she has to say Russia because she can't say Britain. And it's always like, the timing of the Ukraine war, because she knows it's gearing up to a Ukraine war, and it's all that the gear. So like, if they fuck with the timing, delay the timing, it's Trump for 4 years, and we need to do Ukraine. Like that's like pro-Russian. So you can always do that as a dog whistle and bitching and the fucking that. And all the Me Too stuff got set up. Like how she was like, after Trump, you have Me Too, and it burns all through the left wing and all the public radio and shit, and all you get all the scumbags, like certain ones, and Harvey Weinstein has to go to prison, like he's a big donor, but and like the thing is like geared up to keep going to all the Republicans, all this creepy wife swapping stuff, and all the grooming down in Florida, all this stuff was going to get rolled, and the thing is when you have Me Too, you have people calling up, you get those little organizations, and you have like girls, everyone calling up on the phone, like reporting stuff, but they're going right into the wolf's mouth. Like reporting all of it, and they collect all of that, okay? Like all this shit, and that's like MI6, and like the Daily Mail newspaper, the whole thing wrapped up. That's just one of the parts. And so, in one ways you can tell, like, okay, after Trump gets elected, Me Too ought to be with Hillary, right? Getting elected, but they had this shit geared up, and the pussy hat thing, it's so out of place. And how do you get a pussy hat with Trump? Like, they said grab by the pussy, but really it's more, something about sexual harassment stuff. Maybe they would wear a real, like, pussy-looking hat, too. Like, it was supposed to be a thing, and they just never got to do it. And it's, like, stupid. That's why it's so senseless, but it's really a thing that's pushed, because it was, like, a pre-planned thing, and somehow in the zeitgeist or whatever, and has to go through is just like, what? Pussy hat, it's not even, this kind of dumb, doesn't mean anything. It's, like, because it's got to mean something to be, like, have contradictions and, like, something, like, it makes you have, like, a strong, nervous laugh or something. Or something it's supposed to be that, and maybe they were actually gonna, make it look like one. Maybe do bare breasts or something. They were supposed to, like, they were thinking that. Really, they all got rolled. Okay, you say a little limited hangout. You have Jeffrey Epstein. All of this stuff was just all ready to play, right? Like here we go, we caught one, and it really like all these scumbags got to go, and all these guys down here in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, doubling down. It's all grooming, rape. Everyone, but you got to be careful when you talk to these really beautiful women. They'll get it, so they could be just like, they're like a model. They're hanging around hither and thither, and no one fucks with them, I think. And so you gotta, it won't necessarily be like anyone fucks with them, or anything like that. Or because they got it down to a fucking science, and everything, it'd be fake outs. But that's what's going on, man. Oh, the pool light. We got the pool light, man. Man, dude, I know you're a Fed. That one dude, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you're talking about, hey, you're gonna just, you're from the families. Oh, in Barn yesterday. I know he's a Fed, but it's cool. It's all Feds. They got the fucking dude here, though. They got the, I always call him the ass guy. Because it's more than one. It's like the one that was up in fucking Cape Coral. I call him the string show. That's good, because that's MI6 in Tampa. So it's the string. And I think he is. I don't want to keep saying, because they'll just fucking do the thing. I gotta look for my little indicators and whatever. I can't just say it. Like what I think is the Tampa and stuff. The part, it's a totally separate thing, but they got some fucking thing. They got some of the bad police departments and stuff, and they can do certain things, and they do the dirty, like, or the in the maybe the fake dirty. you know, like a torture victim, but maybe it's not real. You know, police bring, oh, here's our torture victim. Here, look, in the back of the car. Here's what he did. And we just took him out of the cooler. He's all fucked up, man. They do that to the Cubans. Like, so Cubans, like, hey, visit us with our fucking guy. That's that whole Tampa, the Tampa sheriff, whatever, that county up there. So it reminds me of that. And so much shit. Which isn't like this, because you guys are a different planet, man. Yeah, maybe that was like oppositional stuff. Oh wait, did I put that on? Oh yeah. Yeah, dude. They're cool. That guy, the bunny rabbit. That's what you call the guy that comes bouncing up the stairs. The bunny comes bouncing up the stairs like a bunny rabbit. It's like, boom. You saw that, right? Ding. And it opened the door. It's like, everyone just, right? Ooh, right? All scoped out. And then when he comes up the thing, Luke is just, you see him swing around. Like, he's all fake depressed. Like, he's like fucking, he knows how to do that. He's in the naughty seat. So I don't know how that stuff went. Maybe it went down. We'll see. I think it did, man. I saw some, God, the fucking string came after me today. They had to do this stuff. And this other stuff, they got made to look ridiculous. Oh, I drove by Lafayette and they're having some party or something. They're doing something. They had a Jesus boat, Trump and Jesus, right? Barge, I think. I wish I'd seen that. Maybe I should film that. Trump and Jesus barge going down the Calhoochee River down here. So that's that. I'm telling you guys, like, you guys you wouldn't have thought of that, right? Like, all the universities getting sewed up, you know, and you think, oh, Jeffrey Epstein, because they want to get, you know, a man, like some of them have a certain needs or they can get them into that, and they can also blackmail them. But it's always like the blackmail. And it's like fucking, it's like they control fucking everything and they implicate people by doing it to them other kids, get them just, they're working all society and universities. And if they can't get them, they know them, they can work certain stuff. So they had to mark on me. I'm Mr. Guy that won't, I'm asking what it is or something. Shit. So yeah, they did the universities. That's what, okay, so that's the general thing. Like, they're all both in there, you know, like CIA and MI6, whatever, like everyone, you know, during the Vietnam War are all working, and then the fucking American side, or that it's a factional thing. It's not just like within one country. It's not like MI6 is just Britain. Then it fucking just, they're done with the universities. They're done protesting, and our university in Southern Illinois is going to kind of peter out and kind of go the way of the buffalo a little bit. Like, and there won't be like Chicago people coming down, and they never got like, they never talk about having a great school or something. Especially, I guess they fucked the sociology department up. My dad has a real, like, is a real sociologist. He came from Johns Hopkins, and see, I've never looked this up, like, but I know it's W.B. Du Bois. That's that school. It's got to be, because there's a Du Bois, and then there's the Chicago school, and that's the shit. It's Booker T. Washington and crap. And my dad's with W.B. Du Bois. I can just fucking hear, you know, when I listen to W.B. Du Bois, it's like listening to my dad. Because that's one of the good things about my dad. He absorbed all that stuff. The real soul. And that's like the real German sociology. Like, you know, Du Bois went over there. He studied in like 1894. Wasn't it? Something like that. And it's like fucking 92, 94, something like that. And then he never knew, I don't think he ever fucking really heard much of Karl Marx. Like, they'll take all the shit. They have the Prussian censor still going on in Berlin. You go to Berlin, they'll have worked that stuff, censored it down, translated in sociology, and done it like, okay, statistical method with it, and all this other shit, and all humanity, and work it into like a bourgeois thing. Because like Du Bois in the early time, he's like, you know, like a bourgeois. Like kind of like Abraham Lincoln and stuff like that, you know, that old school. But it's sodium good and all the statistics and all the shit. That's why he turns communist all the way at the end. I used to think he's like wrong, and he wrote this, you know, fucking eulogy to Stalin, and he's absolutely right. The thing is, Du Bois is fucking correct about all of that. He wised up and got wiser as he was older. He lived to be like 90 or something. And he was in exile in Africa. But he got to go to China and everything. Like, and they did a lot of stuff up at community church in Boston. They got all the records, but that's all. They're all MI6. They're riddled. They're like the MI6 is all up in there. You have to learn everything from that now, from the British. They control everything. They control that fucking church, the old building. I could tell you some shit. They ran the fucking stuff I connected through from that. And so that's all tied up in Harvard Divinity. But I could tell you the stuff. Like, because every institution ties together like that, and they fuck it up. I used to go there for years. We had like fucking 25 years, 30 years, and always like kind of off. No, and that fake Cuba stuff. And that's why. But so my dad was like John Hopkins had that. He had their super training. So that's that fucking shit. And that, and probably some of the shortwave. If he had just been stuck with it, keep his brain from keep good, and he'd probably have to redo like all his like things, so like waves and mathematics. He needs to go back to basics and get a conceptual thing for some of the stuff, because he's still grinding through. He's not like you understand like a child or like a geometrical thing. Like, and there's something you can't just just grind your brain if it's formulas. Like, and even though he's really fucking good, like he'd have to keep finding those times of that childlike simplicity. One of the best things is, there are some really good things. Einstein writes that way. So because it's a pain in the ass, all this radio science was just the ways. A lot of times it is, you can have a geometrical analogy. Maxwell was always like that, saying that. Maxwell actually invented a model like of vortices. Like, even though there weren't the actual vortices, but it makes everything, it comes out the same way with the mathematics. And so you can see the mathematics, how they work, even though it's not what's actually going on. But it's the same mathematics. And he says it's good to do. So yeah, the radio shit to that. Oh man, what else was it, man? Who else fucking... Oh man, what do we know? This might be... See, I'm not sure. I was in Fenway. I think I spent a lot of time in Boston, and it's like you got some of them just hunker down. It's not MI6. It's like the other. Well, it is the other. I know it is. Man, they'd be like, and they'd be trying to get shit. They used to be like, oh, you're $10 short. I had to go through that. Man, $10 short. What? You got this? $10 short? $5? He didn't say $5 short. That guy. See, I know that guy. And that guy now, right? He might still be. He was cool too. But they fucking knew you could not infiltrate that shit. Now I know. And they would just send me. Oh, they'd love to send him after me, and I'd be like fucking $5 or $10 would be sticking in my pocket at the end of the day, and then he'd have to pressure me, and I'd feel so fucking guilty. And it was so weird. He never come out and say, because I was supposed to do that way, and it would just always be the guilt, so I don't go up to 15 too much. And like, it's fucking. Actually, I was getting paid well because I was getting $10 an hour. I was for selling flowers on the side of the road, rain and shine, and like a thing. Yeah, because selling flowers, right? Because we didn't have the fucking Valentine's Day massacre, like Chicago. They murdered everyone, all the North Side. Al Capone and the scumbags. Fucking, that is MI6. That's that shit, or what turns into it. We had real Irish stuff still, always. That's the only American shit. There's nothing else. All the Italian stuff, that's British. All of Italy is Britain. Sicily, first they have Garibaldi, land in Sicily was two fucking separate fiefdom countries. He lands, in the British gunboats right there in the harbor. And if those guys had fought him, on his landing, British would have said, you're bombing our shoe factory right there. They got their fucking shoe factory and their shit all over the port. Garibaldi goes right up through there. Even though Garibaldi's really cool. and unify Sicily, and they go on and unify the rest of the country. So it's like always Britain. That's what I think. And so all the Italian gang stuff, it's always like that, or they have to deal with that. There's always that, and it's always, one of those issues, right? Or that's like, that's like called polemic, you know. Yeah, but we didn't have Valentine's Day massacre. It's in fact, so there's a flower shop, and then it's like fucking, it's so funny, man, because you never know. Like it's only because I piece everything together, but it's just flower shop, just like, but it's just everything's so fucking weird. And it's like the only way you could do it too. Like, damn, man, and all the flower stands and all the different shit. Now, a lot of stuff was just before my time too. You see the people, and then yeah. I don't even know all this stuff. Get a certain sense of it. You guys are being a certain way, so I think it is, man. Yeah. Yeah, it was always like that. Yeah, because the Fenway was, God, it was a place, man. There was a retired Air Force intelligence officer. He'd go walk through the neighborhood smoking a pipe, and he'd always be around because he was very curious. He knew you just didn't figure it out. He'd probably figure stuff out, like I could now if I was like I'm old, so I could just fucking. And it's just for his own head. Maybe like he probably said someone. He was cool though. He was, man. He would be. Yeah. Yeah, that was not NY6. None of that shit. Okay. Even the Fenway Gardens where it's all the cruising, all the gay stuff. Man, I used to go there. First I got a garden there. And then something like this. All the guys are always running around. They're doing shit. So if they're way off in the bushes, they're doing it. Because I got in, so I was going all over bushes, all over stuff, all around night long, and only walked up on something once. And I also go way off in the bush. And I'm starting to doubt. I'm thinking there's like a cover and they're doing stuff where they go way off in the bush. And they'll get prolific guys. They'll get them strung along. And they'll be like, hey, you want to do it in the bar or something like that? You got to go run around the bush too. Go up a few blocks and make it look like it's all there so you can hang around here. Or go meet someone later. Or that's just meeting and then they go somewhere else. Oh, yeah, because that's not any. Oh, yeah. Oh, and then, pardons. Oh, that makes sense, right? Like pairing up and going to go meet somewhere. Because then you can swing from the chandeliers and stuff, right? And get out your camera and stuff. Yeah, that's how it would be, right? But that's like Spy Central. Like T.S. Eliot used to hang around there. I could tell when I first went there. You can feel the spirit of T.S. Eliot. Yeah, and he was good. The pool light, it changes colors. It doesn't have to. I put it on this setting for the movie. And he's trying to tell me. I said, "Oh, you're in the family, so maybe I don't know." But I think he's the feds. You got the feds here. You got the feds there. You got the feds in the fucking company. It's all in the. I mean, not the company, but they'll do dads. And you got the string. They'll all coming down the block. They're always trying to make it look like everyone else. They're running the whole damn CIA or something, and they're not. Because these guys are just everyone. I think everyone right here, even though they do some shit, so fuck that shit. I think it's all feds here, and they turn shit to get me to fucking fuck with me, get me to hunker down, do some shit. Not be friendly, keep a thing, work a certain thing a certain way. They're not the fucking thing. They're not the ass guy. I don't really want to call them that if I'm not saying that. The string. But I had one lady. She was from the string yesterday. I know that down there. They're like doing it on purpose. They're ramping up that Kayla stuff too. They took an outhouse and painted it yellow on the way to City Hall. And there's no way, that's fucking weird. And then they have another one painted yellow somewhere. That's supposed to mean to work that stuff. There's senseless crap, and there's different, man, that stuff at City Hall. I gotta give you guys the full video. I did set up something, and I gotta, because I put it with MacArthur's speech. I didn't like the sound for it. I wanted to, have a different sound, so you guys can watch it, and it's just as well. But, you actually can learn more, too. It's, duty, honor, country. But I accidentally repeated something, so I didn't upload it. So maybe we'll work on it sometime. I have to go to court tomorrow. I have to go to court, like today's Sunday. I have to go to court Monday tomorrow to put in some papers. And the case is going to be on Tuesday. But I have to file some stuff. They got me all messed up, man. I get this severe, like, panic attacks. And when they arrested me, I got 175 blood pressure. So they take me to the hospital. So I go to the hospital, and I'm 175, right, blood pressure. Then they get me there for a while, and it goes down to 170. And then later at the hospital, it goes up to 175 again, and they release me. Okay, it's like that. And this is all fucking stage fright, like a violin player. It goes from all the violence, all shit, but it's like performance anxiety and a desperation, and the fear is like, people fucking, like, the way that people frame me, don't believe in, or like, all they do believe it, certain evil shit. And it's performance anxiety. Because it's like the violent, they're bad. That is, we caught them, didn't we? Didn't we catch them last time? I think we did. I look, my camera's like shit, and it just gets a thing. I think it is, and that shit should all fall together. And you can see why they're messing with me. And that's why me and her have an issue. She says the stuff. That was sexual harassment stuff they're doing. Unless I want it. Like, I don't want to just say it, because that's like dogging someone. I don't want, because it's like, but it's like making me like I'm scum. Like, here, here's something. Like, Borat, you can't get this. Yes, and, kind of shit, and I'm shit. I'm a fucking, and it's like this creepy shit, and they do stuff to them. They stuff to your kids, they fucking do anything, and all this shit. And it is the intent. So, and they would try to fucking say I did shit. And I got this on video. So that's that. Now you know. Now you know. You guys don't know, but it's a thing. Like, and the feds were all on it. I think we might got it. And that's my fucking federal case now. Now we're gonna go tell the judge, fucking, we got it, man. I got people to subpoena. I'll get them. They're gonna fucking say what the hell that is. I mean, I got the federal case. Like, that's investigating, like, right on top of myself with people that did stuff. It's all set up. They lured me to that fire station. I got the video I made before I even go there. They put the car there. The fire chief. Because I'm supposed to go to the fire station. They knew I'm coming. I'm gonna subpoena all their shit. Well, I'm gonna try it. Like all pictures of all their bay doors, surveillance of that, and watch like people going in. All the brochures for the fire bay door of like, oh, I met my wife at, I was a fireman, and she comes in and she's, oh, you're so nice, and she comes right in through the bay doors. There's probably all kinds of people like that, and all it's going in and out, probably all kinds of pictures. So it's not like, there's some presumed like not going in there. They're lying. They invited me in through there too. They just lie, which is irritating. I guess, right? So yeah, my dysfunctional CIA family, right? I didn't even know. So they're doing that stuff, working with my mom, working a thing. And with my mom, it's always seeing if there's any more information they can squeeze. My mom might not have ever talked to the what's her name. It might be stuff she can't figure out, because there's some weird stuff. Whatever my mom does. Like, because my mom, it's weird, man. She did the abortion thing, I don't know, for 2 years. And she had something. And she has he set stuff up. Damn, man, now I know, too. And people used to go to Thanksgiving with. We'd be the only family there, too. some of the years, and we're always there. Like sometimes it'd be another family, but we're like the main, best friend families. And now I know they were in the thing, not like they when it was a time my mom in a divorce, all of a sudden they just drop out. We're not seeing them, and because they told them to lay off. And that's why later when I talk to them, I try to tell them everything that happened. Called up on the phone and they don't want to hear it. And they're feeling bad because it's them. They had to do some shit. They had to do this, man. One of my teachers came. I saw him way years later. And he was like, knew I was going to be there too. Goes to this place. And he said, we didn't do it on purpose. And it always stuck with me because it's weird. Like it was just regular. Okay, like I'm in school. I needed to be just in a library reading or whatever else. Like it's just like fucking grinding away of fucking stupidness. I think it's more in how there's a we, and I think it is that. And it's the teachers union, him and the other guy. One of the guys is Navy too. Now if you got that guy, I should do it, man. Like this, like that. And if you don't know what that is, man, you probably got. I wonder if he is, man. Because that was like, you wouldn't expect it either. That you got fucking infiltrated. And you wouldn't fucking know. It's gotta be, because that was some weird shit. That was like in circumstances. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. It's all being led. Yeah, it is, man. You got fucking, that's in my 6. Like, I mean, it will be later. That's what fucking worked, that kid. To fucking get it to the point. It was all weird. That will be. You'll see. Comes right from my school, the whole fucking thing. Damn, man. The mayor went to Austin, by the mid-70s, like 70s. So he skips out and goes to Austin and starts all the shit up there, or like, he's the old guy that's doing it. It's probably, CIA shit's not funded, or the patriotic thing, or they're also fucked. It's like what you guys did. You guys fucking murdered the president, or you got played bad. Like everyone's like that. They got burned. Like the whole Navy got burned with Oswald. Like Oswald, was like innocent. And he's also being leftist, and he's going to the Cuba. He's like all fucking setting people up and shit. But he's like, it's also, maybe we need to be leftist like Roosevelt. He's got all this shit. And they used him to set him up. So they set up that whole program where he goes and infiltrates the Soviet Union. Even though they know he's infiltrating, they're just like, keep your friends closer and your enemies closer. You're fucking, he goes to fucking Cuba, or the other guy does, and it's like, and they fucking set it up and burned up that whole Navy intelligence thing, or whatever the fuck they do. And there's nothing they can say because they have to explain so much shit. And they got fucking set up. I was like playing out with Eisenhower. We're gonna burn this whole section, and all of Chicago, they just burned it, man. Can you think of it? Imagine. So you got Chicago. They have to negotiate hard to get enough votes for Kennedy, right? And they have to make deals. But then, and so one of the things is they got to put Lyndon and Johnson in. And so everyone is just really pro-Kennedy. Doesn't want Johnson, doesn't want Kennedy to get fucking killed. And they got ripped off. Okay, so that was like getting a car and just the engine drops out. But then they stumped those guys out. And that's why Chicago's shit. That's what I'm thinking. Like, it's like that. Like, they're negotiating good faith and they have the thing, and it's not like it's going to be shit. But then it's like the Kennedy, and it's like shit. And those guys are like shit. We negotiated hard. Like, we gave up a lot of stuff in order to get President Kennedy. Now you guys just do this. We got Johnson. And it's like, no, we're going to come on you harder. We're not paying you back. We're like, stump. You're crushed out, or you're like a bug now. You got to restart. Or whatever. And I think Chicago just got fucking rolled. With Kennedy thing in 1960. I think she's 63. And that's why Illinois says shit. Turned shit. It just kept fucking going. And that's why I see the guy from Chicago, I talk like that. It's like seeing an angel, because it reminds me of people. It just seems like someone I see, one of my mom's friends, one of the really nice people. and everything would have the flow, but I don't know what is going on. It probably is cool. They're probably coming back around or whatever it is, or they say. I think it is, man, because these guys are like, what the fuck happened? It's not just about the street. It's not just Ukraine money and positions. What is the history? What is their context? And that's why you have the thing that YouTube won't let me talk about. They gave me a strike. They took me on my video, gave me a strike and shit. They need to go to prison. And that's why I went over on Twitter too. I had this Twitter, what is it? Lee County Abolition Front. You look that up on YouTube. I'm going to put some stuff. Lee County Abolition Front. Oh, it's got the video on it too. Yeah, so you look that up. Look up Lee County Abolition Front. Because that's an old, video, of course. Man, I bust him too. Okay, the George Floyd stuff. They go, oh, I'm saying, like, they killed George Floyd, and it's all the same shit, all that media thing, and it's a string, that his whole faction, because that's all the media, it's all YouTube, everything is all like being one rotten thing together. There's a whole faction, okay? And so this one lady, I go running into her arms like that, she seems cool, like, she looks like she'd be riding a motorcycle, and she's kind of round and short, and she's like that, she'd be. And so I go run into her. She's like works for LinkedIn and stuff, and so she's not usually there. And so I go running into her arms like it's like, because when I was a kid, this was like that, like that. And in combat boots or whatever, they'd be the thing. They'd be nice. Oh my God, they fight the pig or whatever. The thing, the solution. And so I go running into her arms, and she is kind of cool. She has a cool presence. But I said the George Floyd thing, and then she, and then, like how he got, it was like premeditated and all stuff. And Derek Chauvin is there doing it. He said, oh yeah, but he went off and, he did a murder, like woman. There's some kind of thing, and maybe not. But that's even why they'll justify doing it to themselves, and then they can dog him. And it never gets adjudicated, and it has nothing to do with the fucking thing. But she has that, okay? So that comes out. And it's interesting, and how she has that. Like that way. And it reminds me of the back and forth, like the whole purpose of the George Floyd thing is to have it this yin and yang and opposition, and then a couple people, you saw them when they come through there, or the one of the girl, she puts her hands up in the air like don't shoot. What is it? Hands up, don't shoot. I think it was going through the metal detector. Now you guys watch that, right? You see how that is. That's okay. So if it's normal, like Black Lives Matter and stuff. When we put our fucking heart into it, I was climbing the fucking walls before Black Lives Matter, like leading up to it. I don't know if I'm just in the zeitgeist or something. I was literally, you see me there, like we're working, and that's why I became a police officer. I'm working my way up, and it's like that. And we need some release. There's like a thing, and it's not just some fake media shit. And it was a time, but okay. So she put her hands up like that, like a regular person that's not fake or into it, not an actor. It'd be like that, and it'd be like either smooth, or it'd be a certain kind of thing she's into, or it's some hokey thing she has to do because she really believes in the thing, and she's kind of embarrassed and she's nerdy. Instead, it's like a certain kind of thing as an actress, and she does it a little bit and goes on, and she has no lingering embarrassment from having done it, but she doesn't put her heart into it, and doesn't. And she's not embarrassed about it being hokey. And that's like a fucking professional actress thing doing it, okay? So you got those two. So you got the string fucked up and brought in his just random shit. He's got the fucking fake ass shit they've never got to run. They never got to run, at least not, they haven't run it recently, the Black Lives Matter. They're going to run some shit about Israel and shit. They're like, and I stopped it because I went to, they were going to have some hate crimes and shit, some fake shit, and do this shit, or like really beat people, set up people. They had guys going in and out of the fucking prosecutor building, whatever we call it, old Sunshine Building. The fence is there too, next to the courthouse in downtown Fort Myers. And, and then all the way, the trashy people are like Palestine protesters. And they're going to set up some stuff and some violence. And I filmed them, and it's like cop people. The one was a cop. He's got to be. The one boss one. And actually, they fucking told her. That's what they're. Damn, man. Yeah. And they don't want it, but they were going to do that. And then Haley's there, like cool chick from Wink News that done in my other video. And I go up to her, and she didn't look happy to see me, so I just pointed the camera away. Remember, I said, well, if you're not happy to see, I'm not going to fucking. Because she's the one I wouldn't do, because it's like she's got the presence and all this stuff. It's like you're stealing. I feel like I'm stealing, like a thing. And it's not like an event going on. It's like her thing, her natural giftedness. And she's really fucking smart. And she actually believed me when I first told her that thing at city council. But so I left her alone and talked to this other dude. And then nothing happened with all the protests. It's like she's there to cover it, and then she just drops it. Nothing. And she doesn't do their shit because she's not gonna get into the shit. She don't even fucking. She'll just fucking. She's like the real thing, and she's not gonna be like drag system bullshit. Their fake ass shit. They gotta straighten their stuff out. That's too horrible. Like, you can't do that. And that's what that one dude says. Remember, like, he's parking the car across the police station. So I was like, I'm going over there because I want to look at them. But then he's looking at a sign. He wants to do me too. He says like, and he asked me first. He said, hey, how do I park a car and pay and so some fake thing. So it's like we're both like would have approached each other, and we like kind of meet halfway. And he says meet, and then he starts up a thing. In a little bit, he gets bitchy, and he says, "Oh, you think I'm a lizard person?" Like, remember, he just makes it up because he wants me to mirror it and repeat back. And if I say anything he says, he can lie. He just take it out of context, and act like I said it first. So he said, you're upset at me because I'm a Jew and that's and I'm British, right?" And so, like, if I said, "No, I'm not upset at you because you're Jew and British," he would have fucking had that. He'd gone right to his consulate, right? And so the guy said, he's like, "Say I suck, I'm shit." He said it's not because I'm a Jew and British. You must be racist. And he wouldn't say that. He put those words, he gave me those words. And, so I don't say shit. And he did that. And that's on a lot of levels. Okay, first of all, I was saying today, it could be all set up. And it's like he also wants to fucking get me figured out. Like, am I going to say I'm Jew or something like that? And then am I going to be like pro-Palestine and pro-Israel? Or I could be like, I'm a Jew but I'm pro-Palestine too. He wants to get me, or I'm like Israel, and he needs to get me figured out. Okay, and I think he really is British. And what I'm thinking now, he's not just necessarily setting me up with that stuff. He's stressed and he's upset. And that thing he says, that's a line he drop on other people to fuck with him, but it's not necessarily for me. And it's not even in the right time. He doesn't do it right. He's dropping it, that line, kind of out of play, out of sync, right? But it's a tell. It's like because what he would use on people, right? Because he needs to, wants to figure me out, and he's just about to cry, like, and I'm preventing them from having their incident because he wants to go have an incident and go to the consulate. You got the British government involved, because it's going to be anti-Jew and anti-British. He wants to just come up with that, and he's begging around for that, and he's desperate because they never got anything. They never got anything in the news, no nothing. And so you guys go look at him. Then I comes hunting for him days afterwards. Other guys like the annoying guy with the beard. And I realized later, man, I went up and dogged one guy, but it's not him, man. They're like running other guys. Layers and layers of them. They have like clones, I think. It's like, so then I started to realize, oh shit, man. Got the shit. But that's what that was, and I shut that down. That got shut down, man. So that's why you have no fucking, you didn't get any traction on that crap here. Because we all love each other. We get along. It's not about that shit. You're lying, you're gonna hurt someone for anyone. Man, they're all that stuff up in Boston, they're already acting like they're derelicts, aren't they? Like the guys at the convention. And they might be faking it out. Multiple layers. They're already scheming the patriotic comeback or something. I think even in 2004. Fuck, because they said in Obama, these guys put in Obama, and that's patriotic people. I don't think Obama's not MI6. I think they got kind of played, and even though he'll work certain things, And the same people that run Trump run Obama. That's the fucking wake up, man. Wake up. And then you see it makes sense too. And Hillary's a little odd one out. Doesn't get her thing, and doesn't get her open door number 3, and it's a donkey. Like both times she got schlonged, as Trump said. And then see if that fits. I think it does. It all fits together, and they're working it for this. They're working it, and then they steal Ukraine money, and they're working it with however the stuff's gonna play out. Back in the day, Google will they can do all my words. That's all my words. And all my mumblecore. You guys should look up mumblecore on YouTube and see the great mumblecore. Like especially that one where that guy and the girl and then like she ends up dumping him. He like has to go away and he's crying at the airport and stuff. That mumblecore and her, like that way that girl talks and mumblecore is so fucking great. That's it, man. I would have ended up like Kurt Cobain or something. That's what they would like. Dumbass. I'm kind of glad I didn't stay in Minneapolis. That would have been bad though, because they turned to shit. That would have been, man. That was gonna get in the thing.